In this household, we hold a joint ancestral right, but there are too many people who do not hold this right. Then why even give birth to children and devote your whole life to them? You won't even receive a single cup of water after you die as a ghost. If there were no ghosts, it would not matter. But the problem is there are ghosts. Since there are ghosts, you cannot just neglect the ancestral right and not serve them. If not at home, then at least come to the temple and offer the rite before the Buddha. That would be even better, like adding flowers to brocade. But if you do neither this nor that and just let it all go, then why even have children at all? There are only two main times in a year, Chuseok and Lunar New Year. If you cannot even keep those, then what will you do? Then why live in this world at all, if not even that? But instead, people all go traveling overseas and leave everything behind. That is not right, is it? People struggle and struggle, trying to earn money and become rich. But will such people become rich? No, they will only shrink inward. There are wealthy people in our country. Those wealthy families observe the ancestral rites properly at home. They keep them well. That is why they receive blessings. If, when New Year comes, they do not even serve a single bowl of rice cake soup, and just ignore it, wouldn't it feel disappointing? Lunar New Year, what is it? If you interpret it through awakening, what is Lunar New Year? That is right. It is Gong Thought. So continuing the lineage and keeping Lunar New Year and Chuseok, that is Gong Thought. But those who stop observing them, who let the lineage be cut off, who do not keep New Year and just travel around instead, they cannot even enter the human realm. They are nothing. That is not even the law of interdependent arising. It is nothing at all. So if you want to continue Gong Thought, then during Lunar New Year and Chuseok you must properly honor your ancestors. You pray that this year there will be only good things, that farming will go well, business will go well, trade will go well, and that the family line will continue for generations. For that reason, you offer New Year rites with sincerity before your ancestors. Do you understand? Those who do not do such things, they are a bit like low-minded people. Do not resemble such people. A noble person should not imitate those who neglect their duties. A person must first do what he must do, and then go travel or dance if he wishes. But if you abandon your duty and just roam around for pleasure, that is not right. Do you understand? That is why I say it is Gong Thought. If someone does not even know the 3 bonds and 5 relationships, how can they understand Gong Thought when you speak of it? Is that not so? Ask someone these days what the 3 bonds and 5 relationships are. They do not know anything. They open their eyes only to things like AI, trying to follow the times. But what does AI have to do with the 3 bonds and 5 relationships? Those things alone are of no use. You, however, must set plans for the future, because you prepare well for what is to come. There will be only good things ahead for you, and you will prosper. Do you understand? So people travel overseas. Even yesterday I saw on the news that Incheon Airport was overflowing with people. More than 110,000 gathered there. Even 10,000 is already enormous. So if 110,000 gathered, how crowded must the airport have been? What is there to see abroad? There is nothing truly worth seeing. When the precious holiday comes and the year turns, if you properly honor your ancestors, my heart feels very good. It feels good. How good it feels to serve one's ancestors. Is that not so? When I look at you, you are people qualified to go to the Yonghwa world. That is why whenever I give Dharma talks, I have spoken much to you. If you wish to enter rebirth, you must go to the Yonghwa world for rebirth to happen. If you do not go to the Yonghwa world, there is no rebirth. Is that not so? If you simply leave beans sitting there, what happens? You must plant the beans in the soil for sprouts to grow. Only when beans are planted in the earth will they sprout. Rice also must be planted in the ground for rice to grow. In the same way, you must go to the Yonghwa world, for there to be rebirth in the next life. If you do not go to the Yonghwa world, there is no rebirth. You remain as a ghost. Do you understand what that means? To remain as a ghost means the bean just stays as a bean. Unless it is planted, it does not sprout. Is that not so? It is the same principle. If you cannot understand even that, Why live and eat? A bean must be planted in the soil for a sprout to come out. When a person dies, he must go to the Yonghwa world for there to be rebirth. Even a bean must be planted in the ground to be born again. That is rebirth. When a bean is planted and a sprout comes out, that is rebirth. That is not samsara. Samsara is nothing but empty talk about ghosts gnawing husks. There is no such thing as samsara. People make up words and say things in a similar way so that others may vaguely listen. But samsara does not exist. It is not even a proper word of this world, that thing called samsara. Do you understand? So you must go to the Yonghwa world for there to be rebirth. Those who spend their time traveling overseas, there is no rebirth for them. Think about it. Is what I am saying right or wrong? If you cannot understand words, then you just eat every day and that is all. Such people are of no use because they cannot understand what is spoken. Even if they try to run a small business or trade, if they cannot grasp what is said, they will never succeed no matter how many years they try. A person must understand words. But what is that understanding? What is it? That is what I call creation. The ability to grasp what is spoken. Most people, even if you say one thing, cannot understand even that one thing. If someone cannot understand even one thing, what can they possibly do outside in the world? They can do nothing. They only eat and live, that is all. That is why, on the morning of Lunar New Year, I offered the ancestral rite and gave you this Dharma talk. This is an extremely precious time, something that hardly exists in this world, and I am telling it to you clearly, at such a precious time, to go abroad, to wander around someone else's country smiling foolishly here and there. What is there to see in another country? There is nothing worth seeing. When people meet their friends, they boast, "Oh, I went to Japan during Lunar New Year. I went to the Philippines. Oh, I went to Vietnam." As if that were something to brag about. Those places are not better off than us, and there is nothing there to learn. Why run around there smiling foolishly? I have told you many times, our country is one of the most beautiful in the world. A person must first do what he must do, and then go travel or dance if he wishes. But if you neglect your duties, and wander around smiling foolishly, there is no meaning in living as a human being. The parents who gave birth to you are the most precious and worthy of gratitude. There is no end to that gratitude. Think about it. They gave you this body and brought you into this good world to live. How precious that is. Without parents, how would you even come into this world? Going overseas for pleasure. Did you fall from the sky to do that? Your parents endured hardship to give birth to you, raised you and educated you, and because of that you can now wander overseas casually. When the company gives you a little money, you save it up and then spend it all abroad. That is why you go. If a nation is to prosper and become advanced, the consciousness of its people must awaken. Only then does a nation become advanced. I am not saying you must never travel, but there is a proper time and place. In summer, when it is hot, if you take a vacation and travel, that is understandable. But on a day like this, when the year turns, a great national holiday like Lunar New Year, look at China. They call it the Spring Festival, and they observe it even more grandly than we do. Lunar New Year and Chuseok originally came from China. Did you know that? Is our history longer than China's? No, China's history is longer. Many traditions came down from there and were handed down to us. In a country like China, they call Lunar New Year the Spring Festival. They will probably rest the entire week. They celebrate for a full week. But there is meaning in that rest. It is not simply drinking and wasting time. It is for the precious ancestors. For the father and mother who gave birth to you, for your grandfather and grandmother, for all those before you. You speak good words about them. You visit the graves. You go and check whether the earth has collapsed, whether wild animals have dug holes there. These days wild boars are everywhere. They root with their snouts and damage the graves. They push and tear at the ground. Who looks after those graves? Will wild animals manage them? No. It is the descendants who must take care of them. Your parents who gave birth to you. Their bones are buried there. Even if you cannot go at other times, at least during the holiday you must go with utmost sincerity. You earn money each month. Buy fruits and rice cakes, cook rice cake soup, and place it before your ancestors with gratitude. You bow with a thankful heart. You go to the graves and check. Are they resting well? Has a wild boar dug a hole there? Just the other day, the news reported that some people scattered salt over someone else's grave. You saw that, didn't you? Why pour salt on someone else's grave? If you must pour it on your own ancestor's grave. Why go to another family's grave and do that? Is that not so? When others do well, people's stomachs begin to hurt. A perfectly fine stomach suddenly aches, twists, and churns. That is what happens when someone else prospers. So the world is wrong. It is like that. There are many good people in this world, but there are far too many bad ones. They slander others for no reason, scheme against them, bite and tear at them. Why do they do that? Because the seed itself is rotten. A worthless seed produces such behavior. Human beings, in truth, are creatures that kill to live. Humans are creatures of slaughter. Go to a slaughterhouse and see how terrifying it is. Go to the fish markets in Busan or along the coast. When fish arrive, women take a small knife, slice open the belly, scrape out the intestines. When you see that, it is frightening. How can they pierce the belly of a living fish and pull out the guts? Of course, it is for survival, but it is still a dreadful thing. Do you understand? You can live without eating fish. It causes no problem in living. Yet people do such things. It is frightening. They may do it to earn a living, but to see it, their hearts must be very strong indeed. So human beings are also creatures that kill to live. Just like tigers, lions, and wolves. That means humans are very frightening animals. Do you understand? A frightening creature. So those of you who attend Yonghwa Temple must not live like such frightening animals. Do you understand? You must always live with wisdom and with a kind heart. If you live with a kind heart and live rightly, in the end only good things will remain. Do you understand? Today is Lunar New Year, the beginning of the year. Because so many of you came and offered the ancestral rite. The ancestors are very pleased. You saw it earlier, did you not? Since the soup was not placed at first, yet everything else was prepared so well and deliciously. They said, "What more could I want?" Then I said we should offer scorched rice water, and they said they did not eat the soup. If they did not eat the soup, does that not mean it was not offered? They spoke clearly to me like that. So I tell you, it is not that the ancestors do not exist. They do exist. Do you understand? So today you have kept Lunar New Year well. And this is a joyful New Year morning, a New Year day. May you be healthy throughout the whole year. First of all, you must not become sick. Stay healthy, and may the work you do go well. Do you understand? Fulfill your wishes well, and think about how you can become a person of worth in this world. With that, today's ancestral rite ends here. May you remain in good health. The law of all things in the universe, the Gong Thought. The teachings of Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha, the founder of the Gong Thought. An enlightened Buddha emits light from his body and saves living beings with Buddha's enlightened light. The light of the sun that creates all things is Buddha's enlightened light. And only the Buddha's enlightened light of an enlightened Buddha can make humans reincarnate. The Buddha's enlightened light of the living Buddha. That is precisely the Gong Thought. Receiving Shugi means embracing Buddha's enlightened light, that is, the Gong Thought, within my body. After death, there is no samsara, only everything becomes extinct. If you receive Shugi with the Buddha's enlightened light of an enlightened Buddha, you will have eyes that can see the Yonghwa world even after death. Chendo and Shugi are only possible through the Buddha's enlightened light of an enlightened Buddha. Don't receive Chindo after death, receive Shugi while you are alive. Believe and follow only what you can see, hear, and confirm. The dead cannot arise interdependently, only the living can arise interdependently. Just as gold cannot be made artificially, a Buddha comes as a Buddha from the beginning, and a living being cannot become a Buddha through prayer or Zen meditation. However, those who have received Shugi can receive Buddha's enlightened light and become living Buddhas. All these Gong Thought were created by Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha. Like the sky and the earth, the sea and the mountains, the source of life and creation, the limitless and eternal truth, the Gong Thought. See, hear, and meet Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha's Gong Thought directly every Sunday at Yonghwasa Temple in Surisan Mountain, Anyang.